Okay. Mastermind with Neil Schwartz and our very special guest, Hunter Cawood. Let's give Hunter a big, big round of applause. Unmute yourselves. Woo! Go, Hunter! So,
awesome.
So I wanted to share with you, for those of you that know Hunter, know he's our inside sales guru, et cetera, but I don't know that you know that Hunter lives and works in Russia. Do you guys know that? Yeah, somebody, three
Yes.
people, two people?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
No.
Yes, yes, no, no. So I always kid him about, he lives too close to the gulag or blah, blah, blah. But, Hunter's got, so first of all, Hunter, tell us how you got there. And then I'm going to kind of take everyone in a little different direction than I take these interviews. And I think you'll see a method to my madness. So Hunter, what got you there?
Yeah, so the long story short is that when I started university back in 2012, I studied political science. And at that point in my life, I wanted to become a politician. I wanted to become next John Bayer, the next, I don't know, Johnny Isaacson. So basically a senator, go into politics of some sort. But the thing is, that's right, when you start... or Arnold Schwarzenegger, for example. And but anyways, I one condition for like studying political science is that you have to study a foreign language. And so my freshman year of university, I was dating this Ukrainian girl, and she was like, "Oh, Hunter, study Russian. It would mean so much to me." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know about that. I think Spanish is probably going to be a little bit more advantageous, especially here in the United States." And she was like, "Oh no, Hunter, study Russian. I do all your homework." And I was like, okay, all right, we have a deal. We have a deal. I signed up the next day after she made that promise to me, and started studying Russian. Immediately fell in love with it. It was, it was so fun learning a new language and then turning around and using that language. And what's funny is my first year of university and studying Russian, I got straight A's in Russian. We broke up with that. I broke up with that girl, come, I guess, summer after my first year at my freshman year, and I earned straight C's in Russian after that. So it's kind of funny. She was definitely the key to my success for especially that first year.
As the world turns.
That's right. But what was cool was, essentially Russian from there opened up a lot of doors for me. And so after I finished my freshman year of university, I went and I did a year of internships. I started my career kind of early, going ahead and doing internships. And because I had Russian, I got a consulting internship in Uzbekistan, which is the Soviet, ex-Soviet Union country, right smack in between of Russia and Afghanistan. So it's kind of an interesting part of the world. So to speak, and spent 6 months there, using my Russian and really developing it, getting it to a point where I was actually conversational and it was actually useful for me. And then I came back to the United States, studied for 3 more years, finished my my bachelor's, and because I had that that background, I kind of knew already that Russian was a cool tool that I wanted to use moving forward in my future. And so I started looking around, my senior year. Some different scholarship programs, and Russia actually has this presidential scholarship competition where you can submit an application and an essay and get a couple recommendation letters, and then you're entered into this pool against thousands of other international students across the globe, and they take somewhere around like 500 out of, I don't know, 20 or 30,000, and I got selected as a presidential government scholar, and I moved to Russia, studied my master's at St. Petersburg State University. It's basically kind of the Harvard of Russia, so to speak, and studied business management. Kind of started there, and as soon as I graduated from my master's, I immediately jumped into inside sales and working in business management and business development. So yeah, it's been a quite a tour, so to speak.
Well, fantastic! Very, very cool. Very cool. You and I kid every morning, role play. about somebody's chasing you, et cetera, et cetera. So we have a little bit of fun. We have a little bit of fun with that. But as we're talking, this is where I want to go with this. Okay. As we're talking, and we're talking about your inside sales, and I'm always looking for angles for our real estate agents to take their business to the next level. And I'm listening to you, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, most of my work, 99%, 98% of my work is also virtual. The difference is that if I need to meet somebody or I need to deliver a document, I always know I can do it.
Yep.
The thing in your world is that's not possible when you think in terms of what you're doing in Russia, and you're completely self-contained there. And this is what I want to talk about to our agents today, is setting yourself up to be self-contained, to work your systems, to work everything. If you need an email, you need something already set up, you've thought through a lot of this, and now you're ready to rock and roll. The best example I can give of this is, you know, every Thursday we do an interview of some of the top real estate agents in the entire country and in Canada, right? And one of the things we ask for is a bio and information and a photo of them in every single case, okay?
Yep.
In an email, in a phone call, etc. In almost every case, it takes between 4 to 5 days and 2 weeks to get that information, because the agents don't know where it is in the computer, or they have never created it, or these people doing 100 deals, okay? And we asked you for it, and Ashley told me that within an hour, she had everything she needed from you.
Yep.
And that's what I want to talk to the agents about. How do you get there? What's the mentality? What's going on? Like right now, as an example, as an inside salesperson for our company, how many leads are you managing?
Yeah. So right now I'm managing a little more than 5,000 leads altogether. And this year alone, I've already set more than 245 appointments. And so basically 245 handoffs to our agents and lenders. So yes, it's I kind of hold myself to a standard. And one thing that's I think is really important is knowing your numbers, knowing the exact numbers of number of contact attempts you need to make a day, how many contacts you need to make a day, and kind of what your goal is overarching in terms of deals generated. And so I set, for example, a minimum, absolute minimum is 35 contacts a day. I'm making 200 plus contact attempts, and that's really helping me essentially stay on track and do exactly what I need to do in that respect.
So when you do that, you're doing that in the middle of the night in Russia, right?
That's right. That's right. For example, right now it is almost 10:30 p.m. here, Moscow time. But that's the thing, and I think that's one reason this has worked really well for me is because I know myself and I know what kind of person I am. I am absolutely a night owl. Absolute night owl. I have my best ideas, my best energy. I don't know if you can tell from my voice right now. I'm very energized right now. I'm not the same person in the morning. And, I've also kind of felt that way and thought about that strategically within my business. I know what times of the day or what times of the night, for example, am I most productive during my calling? What times are my most productive in doing my lead follow-up? And I really structure the day and really organize in that respect.
So, when you get a lead, you have a certain way you handle the lead. We talked a little bit about how you kind of sort those, what buckets you put the leads in.
Yeah.
And you don't overanalyze for the most part. So what are the buckets that you're using Follow-Up Boss, correct?
That's right. That's right. Using Follow-Up Boss.
You use the exact same software that we give all of our agents, and you've helped set them up and get them going with it, right?
Yep, correct.
So
Correct. So yeah.
go
So
ahead.
what I'm doing essentially when I get on the phone with somebody is first off, one of my goals is to go ahead and build rapport, make a connection, because I think I understand that if there's no connection between us, there's not going to be a connection with the agent that I'm passing them off to. It's really important. Like connection is the key to a close, and so I'm really focused on building some rapport, throwing in a couple jokes, getting them to like me and getting them to enjoy talking to me right off the bat. And that's obviously sometimes that's a little hard, especially when you have like a 30-45 second window. But I'm really focused on doing that in the first minute to 2 minutes is already building rapport of some respect. From there, I'm going ahead and trying to understand, is this somebody who's serious, interested in buying or selling real estate here in the next 1 to 3 months? Timeline is the number one thing for me. Timeline, and then from there, I'm qualifying other questions. What are they looking for in budget? What are they looking in terms of location? What's their motivation? Because if I don't understand what their motivation is, I really can't move them or push them in any direction whatsoever. And so I'm going through. Even have my own specialized little, I call it an LP Mama sheet, and it goes through location, price, motivation. Do they have an agent? When are they looking to move? So forth and so on. There's a whole acronym to it, and I'm going through those list of questions in my head. I'm writing them down. Take lots of notes. I take lots of notes while I'm conversing over the phone, and then at the point that I understand this is someone who checks all these boxes. This is someone who's seriously motivated. They want to buy or sell or do something in terms of real estate. They have an opportunity to. Not only do they have the intention, but they have a legitimate budget and they have a legitimate credit score and means to purchase or sell. I'm instantly turning the conversation over. Okay, well, hey, you know what? I actually want to put you in touch with my colleague Scott Steele. I want to put you in touch with my colleague, Melissa Grasso, who is a senior agent on my team. They know exactly how to get you started and where to take you and take you to the finish line that you want to go to. And I kind of structure that conversation as let's take the next step. Let's look at your options and let's see what we can do for you. Let's help you get to what you want in the time that you want.
You talk a lot about yourself and the fact that you're in Russia, or they don't know this.
I never bring that up. My goal is to know my market, know California, and so I do my best to come across as a California real estate specialist, and really they ask questions about different cities, different communities, different counties. I've done my research on that, and
So tell me about that a little bit, okay? So have you ever been to California?
Yes, I've been on multiple occasions. So actually, when I joined
you have a
yeah,
feel for it.
for sure.
Right.
Yeah, but so but I mean, honestly, let's be real. My time in California has been limited. I've gone there for vacation. I've gone there to visit friends, and then obviously I came out last year when I joined the company. As I came and spent a week getting to know everybody in the different offices, and spending time with the Thompsons and different departments. But yeah, I know a lot of what's great about the world that we live in 2023 is information is literally in the palms of our hands. It's on our iPhone. It's on our computer. I want to learn about a different community, a different city. I can find that information. I can when someone asks me, well, hey, that home that we're looking at over there in Covina, how far is it actually from this place? It takes me 30 seconds to pull that up on Google Maps and give them the answer. And so I got 30 seconds. I can buy time to answer that question. And so I really try to structure myself and present myself in these phone call conversations as an expert and as someone who's here to help them. And if I don't know the answer to the question, I'll be honest and I'll be straightforward and be like, well, hey, no, that's another reason why I should connect you with my colleague Tim. Tim knows that community like the back of his hand and would be able to talk about or talk to you about that specific loan program or whatever it is. And it's just another way to plug and push the conversation to the next step.
So you're using the preview activity that we recommend to the agents to preview property. You're using it slightly different, and you have practiced. This is what I sense.
Yep.
You've practiced pulling up information in certain areas. Do you like, okay, they're asking about Laguna Niguel. You click on Laguna Niguel, you might have certain things highlighted in Laguna Niguel, this far from the water, et cetera, et cetera. So you've got, that information at your fingertips. You can share it and sound like you're in Laguna Niguel, right?
For sure. For sure.
See, that's the point I'm trying to get through to the agents, is that we have it so much easier than you do logically, and you're crushing it in large part because that's the way you set up your business, and we have to do some more of that
Slows
same.
that far back.
That makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. So what I was
Yeah.
going to ask, Hunter, is how'd you start doing that?
So, I started my career off actually when I graduated from my master's. I started off in inside sales working with Russian startup IT companies. And this is where I actually kind of learned a lot of the different, kind of ways to think about, structuring your business and ways to think about your systems and processes. But I think even before that, in my master's degree, was very focused on business management. I was very focused on, operations and understanding workflows. And I mean, for example, 90% of my, what do they call it? My classmates who finished university with me, they went on to be consultants and working for like Google and Yandex and all these big, Procter and Gamble, and analyzing things like your workflow and your systems, your process, all that in one step. And so I kind of already had that kind of thinking in my mind. I already had that kind of background of thinking in that way. And so when I got into inside sales, especially my first year working with a company called Cloudberry, it was very much focused on like organizing and conquering your database, knowing exactly where your money is and when it's going to come. Understanding leads who are at the beginning of their sales journey, leads who are in the middle of their sales journey, and leads who are closer to the end, and structuring your communication, your follow-up, all in that respect. But like one thing I think that's also a very big principle and very valuable for me in terms of putting together these systems, these processes, is I take time to slow down in a way that's going to allow me to speed up. Okay, I like the metaphor for examples. I'm sure you haven't, yeah. So I really like this metaphor. Is I think one of my first coaches are told me that's one of my first it was someone I could call a business coach, essentially. Told me, Hunter, think about it like this. Think about you're cutting down a tree. Obviously, the end goal is to cut down that tree, and you want to do it as fast as you can. But if you can't continue to hack and hack and hack and put so much effort, but never sharpen the axe, it's going to take you forever. Sometimes you got to slow down, you got to sharpen that axe, and then you got to start cutting. And so that's the way I think about my systems and processes. Is I'm constantly looking for ways, that I can make my follow-up faster, make my efficiency faster, how I can reach more people in less time, and do it in a way that's still high quality. So I think that's a big part of it. It's having those principles in mind.
And so to slow down, to speed up, you're referring to where each city is that you're working so that you can click on it quickly. Where maybe the scripts and dialogues. Do you role play on a regular basis still now, or?
I will say I role play less frequently than I used to. I used to role play when I got into when I moved over from IT and startups into real estate. I role played every day. It was an absolute core goal for me to role play every single day and get to a point where I feel like I'd mastered my craft and felt extremely comfortable on the phones. I will say,
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. I will say my approach to role play, from the very beginning though, is I like to improvise, and I think that you have to put yourself out of your comfort zone. Scripts are incredibly important. And it's incredibly important to know the scripts, but most of your conversations are not going to go to script. So you have to, even when you role play, you have to be role playing scenarios where the client takes you off script. And so that's something that I've done, and I think that's really made me more flexible and a better person on the phone, a better conversationalist on the phone. But what I'm also saying is, in terms of kind of talking about that, slowing down to speed up, is I've taken a lot of time to learn as much as I can about certain different technologies and how they integrate, how they work. And, so I've become an expert on Follow Boss. I've become an expert on YLOPO. I've become essentially an expert on Mojo. I know how all those platforms work. I know how they working together. And what I'm also doing is I'm taking time each month to explore other technologies and understand, okay, well, is this a technology that could really help me out? Or is this a technology that is worth learning so that I can implement it into my business? And so I think even taking time like that, I mean, I know like sometimes it's kind of like learning a new process is almost kind of like learning a new language. It's like sometimes it's frustrating, it's hard in the beginning, but once you get to the point where you can speak it fluently, it makes life so much more enjoyable. And I think that's the same relates to your business. When you get to a point where you know how to use Follow Up Boss, you know how to use YLOPO, and it starts bringing you business. I mean, I can't tell you how many phone calls and text messages I've gotten over the past year from people that I've onboarded and taught how to use Follow Up Boss and YLOPO, who they texted me like, Hunter, man, I'm so glad you like slowed down and showed me how to do this, because I just got a deal because of you of YLOPO. I just got a deal because the follow up system and Follow Up Boss. And so it's those things. It's those technologies. It's that knowledge. I think you've got to be a constant learner, and you got to constantly be looking for ways to be more efficient and be better at your business.
Absolutely. When I hear what you're saying, because of your disciplines, you can do this. When I hear what you're saying, a lot of times the agents will say, well, wait a minute, I got to get great at this, great at this, great at this, great at this before I can make one phone call. That's not what you've done. You've taken the technology, the information, etc., and during this time period, as you're becoming more and more proficient in each one of these areas, and you set 245 appointments.
Yep, that's right.
You not set, you handed off 245 leads, opportunities with commissions, potential commissions attached to them. Some closed, some didn't, some still will close. Okay. Yep. I mean, that's what we're talking about, but you're making money along the way. So I want to make sure that everyone's hearing that it's not get ready, get set, get set, get set, get set, and then maybe pull the trigger. You're pulling the trigger every single day. What did you say? 30, 35 what?
Yeah, minimum 35 contacts a day.
35 contacts and 200 dials. Are you running out of power?
Yeah,
Are you running out of power?
Check 1 1 2.
Yeah, can hear you
now. All right, perfect. We're back. Yeah, sorry about that. It was telling me low battery. So that's another, I think, a core principle is staying in action. I think you have to continuously stay in action. It's obviously, like I'm saying, it's not a contradictory to say that sometimes you need to slow down to speed up, but at the same time, you got to stay in action. You got to continue working on your craft every single day in different aspects, and that's really kind of what we do in terms of real estate. It's very multifunctional. We do a lot of different things in real estate. You write contracts, you negotiate, you prospect, and you learn about different communities, and you run quotes and so forth and so on. The thing is, you have to kind of essentially do all at once. You have to stay in action, but you have to just spend some time and put a little bit more attention on the things that you realize are either your weaknesses or areas that you really need to grow, and areas that you need to explore deeper and further. And so, I think that's the key.
You have clarity clearly on this. Okay.
No.
Here's the question. When you onboard agents, can you tell if somebody's is getting it at your level, or I guess where I'm going with this is, why doesn't everybody get it like you're getting it and have the tools at your fingertips and control? Why do you think that is?
I think, one thing we learn differently. I mean, some of us learn by hearing, some of us learn by seeing, some of us learn by reading. And I think though the majority of us, we learn by seeing. and seeing how it works and see how it's how to implement it. And so I think that's one maybe restraint or constraint that I have in doing a lot of these onboardings is I'm able to show how everything works and very shortly, quickly. But I don't have exactly the whole, time to sit down and show you. Okay, hey, let me see my workflow from a minute I start in the morning from like 7 a.m. To when I finish work and what I'm doing and how you can do essentially the same. And I talk about that obviously, and I talk about how you can do that. But I think a lot of people, it's you got to see it demonstrated for them first. And yeah, I don't know. Beyond that, I think it's some other things is you have to have a willingness to want to learn. Some people they get on our onboarding calls and they're like, yeah, I don't know about this. I've been doing real estate for 20, 30 years or 10 years, and I've never needed this, and so I really don't know if I actually need this. But then we talk about the conversations about essentially, okay, so how much real estate have you done? Okay, so you did 10 deals last year. That's awesome. That's awesome. Like 10 deals is great. But how many deals do you want to do? Okay, all right. You want to do 15 to 20? You want to do 20? Okay, you want to double your production. All right, so we got to understand then what you if you do what you've always done, you always get what you've always got. Okay, so we got to explore ways that you can change up your formula, change up your strategy, and be a little bit more efficient. And think about this: you worked full time. I had this conversation recently with an agent. You worked full time last year, and you got 10 deals. Okay, you were hustling. Okay, we got to find a way to double your productivity. And the way that we're going to do this is with our technologies, our systems and processes, and automating a lot of this workflow for yourself. For example, automating the listing alerts that you're sending out, automating the seller alerts that you're selling out, automating your reminders for following up and so forth. That's the only way that we're going to get you to the point where you're going to close 20 deals. And so I think it's a lot of like I said, it's willingness and seeing it in action.
Well, I think you're doing it. There's no question about it. Absolutely. We appreciate that very big time. I also want to thank you for your work that you do with us on Role Play on Tuesdays and Thursdays, where you're actually taking scripts that we have, changing them up a little bit for those that haven't been there, and having a really good time with them. So
yeah.
Tell me more about that. What's your goal with that?
Yeah, so my goal in terms of those, what I call off script is, like I said, trying to make our agents a little bit more flexible to think on their feet, and also try to make the conversations, the practice more realistic. I'm a guy who I've played sports my whole life. And, I've played basketball, I've played soccer, I've played football, and now I'm a big enthusiast of pickleball. But what I've realized is the best practice that I've had and the best, the more I've increased as a sportsman or become better as a sportsman, is playing against competition that is more difficult, that's more challenging, that pushes me out of my comfort zone and pushes me to be more agile, essentially. And the same applies to real estate. And what's really cool about our company and really cool about the opportunities that we have every morning at 8 a.m. is we have the opportunity to, instead of practicing on our clients, we have the opportunity to practice on our colleagues for an hour every single day. And what I'm trying to do essentially with that is give you realistic scenarios, realistic conversations, realistic objections, and give you the tools and I guess opportunity to work those out for yourself and figure them out for yourself, so that you create this muscle memory. You create this muscle memory. The next time you run into a conversation like this, you've already been there. You've already done that. You've already heard this objection. You've already heard the way this type of conversation has gone. Okay, I know how to overcome it. I know how to think on my feet. I know how to navigate this conversation and this relationship with the client.
Excellent. To help maybe some of the agents in working with Follow Up Boss, can you give us your simple approach to the different buckets that you're using?
For sure.
So that everybody could walk away today and at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, work on that, set it up and go with it. And then number two, I don't know how handy it is. Can you post, what did you call that? A mama sheet?
LP Mama. LP Mama.
LP
Yeah.
Mama?
LP Mama. Let me see if I can drop it in the chat real quickly. That might be helpful for everyone. Give me one second. But yeah, so talking about my workflow and talking about oh, there it is. Perfect. I can drop it in the chat. All right, just dropped it in there. It should appear any second now. And
All the way
yeah,
from Russia, everybody.
That's right. From Russia with love.
From Russia
Yeah.
with love.
So like I said, one of the most important qualification questions and for organizing and structuring your database is understanding timeline, okay? So in Follow Up Boss, we have about 5 or 6 key stages, okay? We have hot, warm, nurture, watch, and cold. Those are the 5, primary ones. We also have lead. A lead stage is someone that's new to your database. Basically, that new lead, you want to hit them as much as you can in the first 10, 10 to 14 days with as much call, text, and email until you get in front of them. And then, once you talk to them, obviously, you're going to find out, is this a hot, warm, nurture, watch, or cold? But so with those hot, warm, nurture, watch, and colds, the way that we've built it in Follow Up Boss is they have automated action plans and automated follow-up reminders that will fire off automatically for you when you put them in the stage. And so hot, it's going to remind you to follow up with this lead once every 2 days. Warm, once a week. Nurture, once every 2 weeks. Watch, once a month. And cold, once every 3 months. And so it helps you really structure instead of going into your database and realizing, okay, so who should I actually call today, or what should I do? I think one one kind of paradox about doing real estate is a lot of agents, they go to the office and they're like, okay, I don't really know what to do. I'm here, but what do I do? Okay, what's next? Like, can someone tell me?
Robert told me everything what I'm supposed to do an hour ago, but I forgot.
Yeah, exactly. And so what's great about this is if we've structured our database and we've put these leads in these buckets, they're going to fire off automatically. We're going to be able to go to the tasks tab in our Follow Up Boss. We click on that and we see exactly, okay, today I got 20 tasks, and okay, I got to follow up with John, who's a hot. We got to fill up with Karen, who's a warm. Oh, Dave, who's a cold, and so forth and so on. And you just go one by one. You look at your past communication. You look at where you left the conversation off last with that client. You decide, does this warrant a call, a text, or an email? You do the call, text, or email, or all 3 of them. And then, you check off the task and you move on to the next. And then once you're done with all those tasks, you go back into lead generation mode, back into finding new leads that you can, delegate or dedicate to those hot, warm, nurture, watch, and cold stages, buckets, so to speak.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So everybody can go back and put those 5 in and start working on that. And then I'm looking at the form right now. I don't, it's really simple. I mean, there's nothing complicated on this. Your goal is to get all the information filled in, correct?
Yep, that's right.
And you decide what you're going to do with this.
Exactly. Obviously the biggest space right there is motivation. So I'm trying to figure that out. That's going to make my life easier moving forward. But I'm just trying to get as much information in as little time as possible. But again, we're not forgetting about the connection and the rapport. I'm not just trying to interview them or interrogate the client. I'm trying to learn who they are, what their goal is, what they're looking for, and then that helps me pass it off to the right person who's going to take good care of them.
So when this is stuff that you teach, but you're creating a warm connection where they feel good about you and getting the information that they're seeking and quickly. And then number 2, you're deciding who to do a warm handoff with. Part of it is location of the area. Part of it is sometimes they want a man or a woman. Sometimes it's geography, etc. So you're having to think through this fairly quickly, and then you need a warm handoff. Our job is not to screw it up.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. And that's why, I also frame those conversations as like, this is my team. Like, I'm going to be passing it off to Tim or to Kamal or to Armin, who, we're on the same team. They're one of the solid agents on my team. They'll take good care of you. We're going to take good care of you. Frame it in that conversation. Yeah, and the other thing is, we have speed to lead. The way it works essentially right now is we have a speed to lead chat. And what I'll do is while I'm on the phone with somebody, I'll go into Telegram. I'll type into the speed to lead chat, hey, I got someone who's looking for to buy a home. They're first-time home buyers, just got pre-approved for 450,000, or just got approved for 500,000. Who can take the lead, or who wants it? And so those type of, especially with more buyer leads, I'm passing off to the speed to lead chat, and I'm giving people opportunities to get business, through speed to lead. But what's really cool, what we've done here in the company is once you close a speed to lead, it opens up your opportunity to get more leads. So we want to reward, and we want to, basically set up those people who are closing business with more opportunities to close business. And so, things like listings and so forth go to those agents who've already closed a deal from our inside sales department. And so, yeah, that's kind of how it works. And obviously, I'm taking into account things like personality and so forth for those sellers, and who's going to be a good fit with them.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, let's open it up to the group here for a few questions. Questions for Hunter on, how he does what he does, etc. You take it in that direction. Josie, let's try it.
Hunter.
Yep.
You're in Russia, and you talked about learning pickleball. Do they play pickleball in Russia?
Clearly they do.
They do. Actually, I don't know if you can see from my little cup right here. I got Pickleball Russia branded on it. So it's a really small community, but we actually had our first ever pickleball tournament here in Russia about 3 weeks ago. Took third place. I took third place, but it was still really cool. Played with one of my best friends. It was her first time playing in a pickleball tournament. It was her third time overall playing pickleball. She had played tennis before that, so we did pretty good to get third place in that tournament. Yeah, it's one of the fastest growing sports in the world for a reason. And yeah, we're hopefully it'll get even bigger here, and we'll bring Neil out to play with me in a tournament.
Oh, from your mouth to God's ears. Good job. Excellent. Okay, other questions for Hunter? Other questions? You guys got all this figured out? Come on. This guy's running an amazing system from Russia. Nobody finds that is.
I have a question.
Fascinating. Go ahead.
Hit me.
All right. So Hunter, you work predominantly with online leads coming in. There are agents that are purchasing leads at high volume, but not converting at the rate that you're doing. So what are 2 or 3 top things that if you're going to go get online leads, this is what you have to do to have any sort of success with them?
Good question, Robert. Thank you.
So I would say number one is you can't be a one-hit wonder. A lot of agents, they get an online lead and they call, text, or email once and nothing else. And that is absolutely not going to bring you business. These online leads that I'm getting, my average contact rate or average contact attempt is at least 10 or 11 times within the first 2 weeks, and that's call, text, and email. And the reason I call, text, and email is you got to be all things to all people. You got to try. Some people are texters, some people are callers, some people are emailers, and you got to try to find them where they are. The other, number 2 is follow up. Another thing agents make as a mistake on a constant basis is they are only looking for low-hanging fruit. And the agents who are doing good or doing okay with their business, they're just they're doing a lot of low-hanging fruit. The agents who are doing massive business, who are top producers, who you see at the top of the leaderboard each and every month, those agents are not only going for the low-hanging fruit, but they're also focusing, follow up, and spending time on the nurtures, the leads that they told. I talked to them for the first time in January, and they told me actually we're not going to sell our home until November. Well, cool. Guess what? I've been in contact with them the whole time, and when it comes November, I'm the first person they think about. So it's a couple of those principles, those 2 principles for sure. And I think the third one last but not least is, it's also not getting to the point where you're too swamped with leads. It's using your database effectively. It's use your systems effectively so that you're able to do all your follow-up tasks as you set out, on a daily basis. It's not overwhelming yourself. Some agents I know, they spend a little bit too much money on online leads, and it's too much. They can't handle it all. I think you have to you have to start up and scale up at the rate that is comfortable and doable for you. So I'd say it's those three principles for sure.
Awesome. Maria asked a question. Her mic isn't working. Any advice on how to set up our follow-up system in place?
Yeah, Maria, are you with us, Century 21?
Yeah, I think it is.
We have a training on the 12th.
Sorry?
Yes, we have a
Training with Hunter on the 12th.
That's right. We have a training on the 12th, but I will also, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna drop you my Calendly link in the chat if you'd like to schedule a one-on-one follow-up boss consulting onboarding session with myself. I'll help you get your follow-up boss set up. I'll help you import your leads into follow-up and essentially tackle any questions that you might have in terms of getting your database set up the way you want it to run. So please take advantage of that. It's super easy. You just go and click on that link, select a time, date that works best for you, and I'll be happy to sit down and meet with you. And
just a reminder, we don't charge for this, right, Hunter?
That's right. It's absolutely free.
It's part of you being with Century 21 Masters. So
For sure.
if you're not taking advantage of it and you're not doing business, shame on you.
That's right. That's right. That's right. But yeah, no, I know I sound like a broken record because I repeat this all the time, but my job, my role in this company is to help you guys earn as much money as possible. And any way I can do that, please let me know. Please schedule that meeting with me.
Good job. Also, Vanessa asked where she could find the speed to lead chat.
Okay. Yes. For that, Vanessa, I'm going to give you message me in Telegram, and I will link you to the right chat. So all you have to do is type in my username right there, and I just typed it into the chat right there. Copy that. Search that in Telegram. You'll find me. I should be the first result that you see when you search that. Drop me a message, and I will connect you and put you into the right speed to lead group. Okay.
Fantastic. Great. Other questions for Hunter?
I do have a few questions.
Gabriella,
here.
Go ahead.
Hi. Hey, Hunter, I have a few questions for you. One is that I'm pretty sure that you have all set up. When you say that you contacted a new lead, like at least 11 to 12 times, you have already set up that contact, right? As a campaign with call, text, and emails. And if yes, which one do you use? The one that is under leads? Do you put that?
Okay. Yeah. So that's good.
That's
a good question. My first action plan that I use when I get a new lead that comes through, it's called 10 Days of Pain. And you can search it and you can find it within our follow-up boss, and anybody can use that action plan. But that 10 Days of Pain, what it will do is it'll send 10 days straight of emails, but it'll also send you a reminder for 10 days straight to follow up, to either call or text. And so what I'm doing, specifically, just give you the idea of my workflow. I get those leads into the database. They're getting an automatic email from me talking about their inquiry. And then, one other thing that's really important about online leads is you got to call them as soon as you can, as soon as possible, within 5 to 10 minutes of them signing up. One thing, clients love that. Clients are like, all the time when I call them, I was like, whoa, I didn't expect you to be that fast. When I'm like, well, hey, that's our standard of business. We're here to give you 6-star service. So let me know, how can I help you out? But being quick, speed to lead in those new leads that you get. Even if it's a referral, for example, even if you have like one of your clients or one of your friends from church give you someone's number, be quick. Reach out to them as soon as possible, because if you don't reach out to them, someone else will. Okay. So what I'm doing essentially, I use that action plan. And then what I'm doing is I'm setting up a smart list in Follow Up Boss where I see all my new leads that have came in the past 10 days. And then I basically export that list to Mojo, and I dial that list. I triple dial that list, once a day. And so that gives me as much, opportunities to call them as possible. And then as I'm as I'm on the phone, as I'm waiting for somebody to answer the phone, I'm going one by one to those tasks and Follow Up Boss, and I'm sending a text message, or I'm following up somehow. Just make sure that I'm getting in front of them in that text component as well. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes,
one
it does.
second.
And yeah, and
One
you
second.
really helped me to set up all those Mojo with Follow Up Boss. I super appreciate that. And you always right away answer to me. So it is amazing that the service that I have from you is unbelievable. But my question is, when you mentioned about that you are calling those people from Mojo, and at the same time you are updating with a text. That text is not something that is built in the action plan. It's a text that you send, like a custom text at the
Yeah,
same that you tell me calling.
Yeah, it is a custom text, but I'm using
Okay.
text templates that I've already saved, so that it takes me less than 2 seconds to send those text messages. So and
That's
also,
the whole point okay, I got to stop and make this point, Gabriela. That's why I asked Hunter to talk about this, because this is an accumulation of things over time that he puts together, not stopping for 3 hours or 3 days. Okay, I got to make 20 texts. That's why we do this as it goes. And the system is created, and he saves it, and he remembers where he saves it. Now, I'm not picking on you, Gabriela, any more than I'm picking on anybody else. We need to slow down to speed up. We've got to do that and set that system up. That makes sense, Hunter?
yep, for sure,
Okay,
100%.
Yes,
Yeah.
very efficient. Yeah, so those templates are also Follow Up Boss.
No, they're not in there. He's added them in there, but some of the stuff he has are follow-ups.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to know now.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
Hunter-
Gabby, real quick,
Mhm.
Gabby, you can find my text templates, and you can use them yourself. If you go to when you go to the lead profile and Follow Up Boss, go to text templates, and then go to Hunter's follow-up stack, and you'll find it there.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good.
Yeah.
And one more thing is, are you really married? Because every time when we do role play, you say, "Oh, my wife this, my wife that." I say, did he get married in Russia or no? That's something that I want to know.
No, I am Russia's most eligible bachelor. So I just do the I use that in the role play just to I don't know, to make it more realistic, I guess.
Well,
Yeah.
good luck, Dad. Good luck with the Russian girls.
Awesome.
Thank you for
appreciate it.
everything, Hunter. I really appreciate always your help. You are always very, very fast responding to everybody here. Appreciate that.
All right,
My
good
pleasure,
question,
Gabby.
Gabriela. Thank you. Hunter, one of the things that got me thinking when you're doing this, all of the leads that you're getting are coming in electronically, so they're saved by a phone number or a name, generally speaking, so you're not entering them in by hand. Am I correct?
That's right. So they're all already there in the system for me.
Right. Okay. So here's my question for the agents. A lot of times they'll get 2 or 3 leads, and then they want to get somebody else to enter them, and then it doesn't get done, and blah, blah, blah. Is this one of those slow down to speed up, enter the damn thing yourself at a certain time of the day, or spend a couple dollars and have somebody else do it? What do you suggest?
Oh yeah. Well, one thing I think it really only takes 30 seconds. It really only takes 30 seconds to input it. And so also, like, think about this, you're going to input that into your phone. You can input that into your Follow Up Boss app. Like, it's just the same thing. So, if you got their phone number, just type it in, put it in the Follow Up Boss app, and then that's going to make it easier for you. The next time you need to find that lead, the next time you need to call that lead, the next time you need to put that lead in a list, it's already there. So that should never be, that should never be a reason not to to do it. One thing, if you do have, I don't know, a big list of leads or a database that you used a long time ago, or, you know, maybe you bought I don't know, Excel sheet from one of those title companies, we can import those into Follow Up Boss for you. You don't have to do it manually. We can make this automatically streamless and streamline that. Just reach out to me, or, you know, drop me a line. I can send you a link or a video showing you how to do it.
Got it. Excellent. All right, unmute yourselves. Unmute yourselves. Let's give him a big hand. All right, Hunter.
Way to go, Hunter. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Hunter.
Good job. Good job. Good job. That's great. Really, really well done. Thank you. We're going to take a few minutes right now and kind of go around the room and see what agents had learned on this. So if you need to go back to that meeting, I get it. If not, hang around, hear what people have to say. We're recording it anyway. All right. Thanks, Hunter. Really good stuff. Excellent. Okay. What did we learn from Hunter today? Who wants to go first?
Slow down to speed up.
Slow down to speed up.
Absolutely.
Exactly, Kevin. Great point.
Absolutely.
Marcella, how about you?
Yeah, slow down
Slow down
to speed up. Take the time to do this.
Get it done. Finally, once and for all, get it done. Get her done. Isn't that how that guy says it? Get her done. Okay, what else did we learn today?
Take
Go ahead.
take advantage of what is before us. What I mean is take advantage of Hunter. He's there for our at our beck and
100%.
call, basically.
100%.
Have
know?
systems,
Sorry, Jackie.
have systems.
Have systems. Take the time a little bit every week to polish them or bring them up. Use the resources of the company, and there are a ton of them. You know, people ask me now, you know, when we merge this together, I mean, each of us separately had a ton of stuff. Now together, it's like 10 tons. It's almost too much to talk about. It's overwhelming in a good way. Okay, what else did we learn today? What else? That's it.
Have a system.
Have a
He said
system.
Russian. Yes.
Sorry, Miriam, what'd you say?
No, I say that to have a system that he's working in Russia and he still can do his job.
Is that amazing? Or am I the only one that thinks that's absolutely unbelievable?
Amazing.
Unbelievable. That's crazy. He does a great job with it too. All right, everybody, let's give Hunter one more big round of applause. Woo! All right. Good job, good job, good job. Okay, who's next up, Ashley?
Let me take a look. One moment.
All right.
Brief moment. Internet's a little slow for me today. Oh, okay. We actually didn't have anybody for our 1 o'clock and 1:30, so we need to guilt trip somebody into taking the slot, or we shall listen to elevator music.
Armin, what do you think? Gabriella, you want to make the calls?
What time?
Now.
Okay, I can jump again. No problem.
All right, good job. You can take
I
it
don't
through.
want that Robert get upset with me. We got an appointment. We said I was going to make 20 contacts a day, no more than less. And I made my 20 already, but I'm going to take some more. No
Well,
problem.
let's make 20 more, and then you don't have to work tomorrow.
Oh, by
I
the words
like
of Neil.
that.
By the words of Neil.
See how you got me going now.
You know you don't believe I'm going to hold you to the fact that you don't have to work tomorrow, right?
I will have to work tomorrow
My
too.
nose is
Okay.
growing.
That was from yesterday. Let's put it in
All
that
right,
way.
go
Put
for it.
tonight.
Go
I will
for
take
it.
care of this. No
All right,
problem.
lady.
Neil, can
Okay.
you stop recording and stop being live on Facebook?
I will.
Thank you.